maximise your remortgage valuation through these property investing tips and strategies. So in these uncertain times, valuers are being more and more cautious and more conservative, shall we say, with their reports. And these can cause you to have a down valuation, which can then affect your property deal and cause that to even fall through, which is what's happened to me recently. If this happened, it can be really detrimental to your progression on your property journey, especially this year, and it can even stop you dead tracks before you've even begun. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some insights that can help prevent and mitigate against you getting a down valuation and just help stop your property deals from falling through as well. And stay tuned till the end, because I'm going to be giving you some invaluable tips on how to increase and maximise and get the highest possible valuation price you can. But first, let's explore what a remortgage is versus a standard mortgage when it comes to property investing. So a remortgage essentially means it's when you onto a new mortgage loan when your old mortgage terms are ending, and if you still intend to either live or keep the property and not sell it on. So when we're essentially remortgaging as an investor, that means that we've either bought a property where we are adding value either via a bridge loan if it was unmortgageable in the first place, and then we are literally wanting to pull that value out as profit and move on to either a buy to let or onto a new mortgage term and pull that value out from the deal. And in order to do this, a valuation or an assessment of the value of the property that you are going to be leveraging against needs to be made so that the lender can make sure and can ensure that is a secure investment for them, and also for yourself, you know that you are pulling out as much money as you're expecting to. And I do have more videos on the bridge loan, bridge to lets and things like that. I've got an actual entire playlist if you want to check that out. So do you have to get your house valued in order to get a remortgage? Yes, you do, because the lender will want to ensure that they are actually making a good investment themselves and that the property is actually worth as much as you say it is, and you've done the work that you've said you're going to in the case of if you're an investor and you're adding value. And it's a safe bet for you as well, so that you know that your property is worth as much as you think it is. So how to get a valuation for a remortgage. Now this might be part of the process of the actual remortgage itself. The lender will appoint a valuer to go round, and then you might have to pay for that, or you never know, you might be one of the lucky ones that gets it as a free incentive for you to go with that certain lender. In the remortgage processes that I've gone through, I've had to pay for them. The lender will normally appoint a chartered surveyor that will actually come out, and they should come out to you and actually have a look. And obviously in the case of us investors, we would have submitted a scope of works, so that surveyor will come along and just check that you've done all the works that you've said you were going to do, and just do their due diligence just to make sure that the property is a secure investment for that lender. And they'll also do some sort of desktop study as well, just to look around the property, what's in the area, in the vicinity of the property and things like that as well. And they'll do some sort of comparative analysis, so they'll look at prices of properties that have sold in the area that are similar to yours and use those as indicators for their valuation. So if you've done things like you've improved, like what I did with the project that I've recently done, I improved the thermal conductivity of the external wall to the building, so therefore that makes the building more energy efficient. So this, even though I already had an EPC, I had a new one done so that would reflect the new thermal conductivity of the building, and then I handed that to the valuers so that they knew that was part of the scope of work, so that they know that was part of the works that was done. And in turn, things like that will add and boost to the value of the property. So what to expect? Lenders will literally lend you the money based on what the end value price will be. That's going to be dictated in your valuation. So I would be very conservative. Prepare yourself for it being down valued, because be more conservative with the amount that you think your property is going to fetch, and then you will not be disappointed. And a lot of people say you can challenge that. If you do get a down valuation, you can challenge it, but it's a long process to go through, and it actually involves the valuer actually owning and admitting that they didn't come to the right conclusion in the first place, which it's quite hard to do that. I mean, some people can do that. Obviously, if you've got all your evidence there and you say, you know, these are comparables, that on the other hand is so subjective, it's really, really hard for them to change their minds. But you never know, if you have got all of the evidence there and you presented that to them and say, look, these are some of the in the area, maybe they might just change their minds. So remortgage valuation tips. So what I can say to you is just make sure that you've done everything that you've said you're going to do in the scope of works. Make sure that you've done it to a really good standard and just put your heart and soul into it. If you've said you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to recover the roof, make sure you've recovered the roof. If you're going to redo the heating, make sure that the heating's looked at. These are the sort of the main things that you need to be looking at. So you just make sure that you get everything done. Like if you're going to do a rewire, make sure the rewire's done, the electrics is all working, and you've got all the certs for that. Make sure the heating's all there. Any energy efficiencies that you've built in, make sure that's highlighted and that they know that that has been done. All things like that can help boost it, and also make sure they come and have a look at the property while it is empty, so it's empty occupation. That is going to help you as well get that higher end value. And I've got more videos to come on the project that I've just done, but obviously if it was unoccupied, I think the valuation would have come back slightly higher. But again, subscribe to see that in more detail. But yeah, make sure if it is unoccupied, so the valuer's going in there with a fresh mindset, there's not a load of stuff hanging around and there's no tenants in there, that's probably the best way to improve and get that higher valuation. And you need to have made sure that you have factored in all your figures from the get-go. Make sure that all your figures, everything all lines up. I've got a project plan, which is, the link is in the description box below, so you can plan out your actual renovation project to make sure that your costs actually come out as you expect them to be, because the lower your costs are, the more of a profit margin you're going to make as an investor. You can use some online house estimators just to try and get a rough price or a rough figure for your end value that you can look to. You can use, there's mouse price that you can use, obviously Zoopla, but just bear in mind that they are online. They've not gone round and had a look at the property or seen the value that you've added to the property, so they may or may not be that as reliable as they could be. You could get an estate agent to come out and value the property as well for you, but obviously bear in mind that their interests are going to be different to yours. Obviously they might have a really high figure, a lot higher than what the actual valuer is going to be looking at, because they're going to be looking at different things. Obviously the estate agent is wanting to get as high a price as possible to make that commission, and then obviously the valuer is on the side of the lender, so they're two completely clashing interests. But yeah guys, those are some rough sort of high level tips. I have another video on down valuations that go into a lot more detail. I'll link that in the end screen for you. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.